Join us now, Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia. Senator, thanks for joining us this morning.
Sure. Nice to be on. Thank you.
You have friends across the aisle. Are any of them coming to you and saying, geez, Shelley, what do I do here? I'm thinking about joining with the other three, and I might be one of the five. Do you have any of them coming to you for help how to do that?
I do. And I think that they are looking for a way to, yes, they're looking for a way. They're still obviously very much invested in having this tied to the premium support discussion. But at the same time, they realize how damaging a government shutdown is to the federal workers, to anybody who needs services, our troops, et cetera. And so I think they are trying to find a way out. And I think they've been led by Senator Schumer into a place that's almost an impossibility to get a satisfactory result for them. So I'm hoping they see the only way to negotiate and begin to talk about the things they want to talk about is to reopen the government, and then everything's back on the table, including appropriations.
You think things should be back on the table in terms of extending emergency COVID-era subsidies to a program that it has a lot of flaws, obviously, and you get not very good health care, and it's very expensive, and it almost gives, you're almost enabling Obamacare to continue to not do well if you okay this. And a lot of Republicans on your side of the aisle seem to be all too willing, to feel bad about what was in the OBB. They got buyer's remorse about what they did to Medicaid.
No, I have no buyer's remorse on the One Big Beautiful Bill, and I'm not going to relabel it either. I'm going to keep calling it the One Big Beautiful Bill because of what it does for working families, taxes, businesses, the certainty that it brings. On the other hand, in terms of health care, I think this COVID-era expansion that the Democrats put into effect needs to be reined back in. There's a lot of fraud and abuse in here in terms of people double signing up, people who don't even know that they have plans, and the insurance companies are getting paid for them. They don't even access the benefit. We've uncovered a lot of that. That's where the discussion needs to begin. This will not go through with a full extension of life as it is if we get to the point where we're actually negotiating on this. But here's the kicker for me. How easy is it to reopen the government? It's a simple 7-week reopen. Then we get to the discussions, because the best way to solve a lot of these problems is a regular appropriation process where we're setting priorities, we're shutting down programs, creating new ones that might serve better. This is the direction we should be going, rather than arguing on whose fault is this and why is this happening. We know why it's happening. Chuck Schumer and the Democrats have decided to shut the government down.
Senator Capito, if you look at West Virginia, it is one of the states that has relied pretty heavily on those subsidies from the ACA, though. Just looking through some of the numbers, something like 97% of those who signed up received the premium tax credits in 2025. And if this deadline is hit in January and goes through, I think it's been estimated that something like 15,000 West Virginians would no longer be able to afford health care insurance and would lose their health care coverage. Do you want to do something about this? Are you one of the senators who would be working with moderate Democrats to try and change some of the plans that have been put in place and restore some of those tax credits?
Where I think these tax credits should be aimed, and where I'm very interested in, and where I think most of my 50,000 West Virginians fall into, are in the small folks who have small businesses. Somebody who's a beautician, a barber, a small mom and pop shop in a small town in West Virginia. Those folks cannot get insurance any other way because it's unaffordable. Let's help them. Let's not help folks that their income limits have been taken off here, that are making much more, that could afford a plan, could afford a bronze plan, could afford to pay some deductibles, could afford to have skin in the game. Those people now are riding free. They're not paying deductibles. They're not paying premiums. Those, yes, I'm interested in helping the West Virginians that, for no fault of their own, cannot get insurance, affordable insurance, without some premium support. But those folks are working hard every day. They know that the value of paying in to get something of value back. And so I think that that's where we need to begin the conversation.
It is easy to open the government, not when you've dug a huge hole for yourself and painted yourself into a corner. So what way out does Schumer or Senator Schumer or Leader Jeffries have at this point?
I think at this point, what's going to happen, we've already seen several Democrats that have changed their votes and voted to reopen the government. We're going to have another vote tomorrow, or, in observation of the Jewish holiday. We don't have votes today. And so I think that we'll probably see more. And I think there's a lot of pressure. I know there is, because I'm talking to them all the time. There's a lot of pressure to find a way to put a pin in this bubble so that we can then sit back down again and begin to negotiate. You hear loss of trust. There's loss of trust on both sides. I don't think that anybody can claim the high ground there, but I think we can reclaim that if we get the government open. It's a simple thing to me. And basically, it's not like the vote is, oh, I'm going to open the government and I'm going to give the Republicans or Donald Trump 43 other things. No, it's quite simply reopening the government to begin discussions, to begin regular order on the Senate floor, to begin to talk about the things such as Becky brought up, the things of folks, working people that are very worried about what's going to happen in January with their health care.
Okay, so you're Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, you're worried about your leadership. And we sift through what people say. We don't believe, we probably don't believe 80% of what we hear. We're looking for little nuggets, trying to shift it all and find what's true and what's not. What's his best avenue to say, I couldn't control these five, that I was not going to acquiesce. I was going to hold firm this time, and they went against me, and I really did hold firm for you guys on the left, you guys and gals on the left? Or is it better for him to just say, I'm throwing in the towel. I realize this is a bad idea. How's he going to do it? What's better for him long term?
We think we know this is a Schumer shutdown, and so he does own this. And you're right, he needs to figure out the way to get out that's not just good for his caucus, but also good for him, and those are at odds of one another. I think in the end, what he says is, well, these rogue actors just went against me. I couldn't control them, and so we're going to reopen.
You can't. Then why should you be leader then if you can't control your caucus?
Because what he's trying to do, I believe, is to lead the left and solidify his left. And the left is going to be happy with him if he held strong. I mean, I think that's the conventional wisdom. Or the other thing that could happen is that he elicits some nugget of okay, we're going to put a group together, or we're going to look into this more deeply in a more solidified way. But our leader John Thune has said we can talk about all of those things. Just reopen the government, and off we go. And so I think it's a very simple choice for him.
The calculus for what would anything tarnish Republicans if Russ vote just does slash and burn right now? And do you think that is that what he would like to do, or is this all a bargaining chip all along about permanent firings, closing agencies? You saw President Trump's tweet. Says the Democrats are helping him. They're helping him make America great again by letting him shut down all these Democrat agencies, in his words.
Well, I think you saw, obviously, when the president got in with DOJ, and you saw the early retirements, the shrinking of some agencies and some cabinet positions worked with this. At the same time, you saw how hard it was. You're in court all the time. Is it legal? Can you do it? And that presents a lot of uncertainty as well. I think, yes, do I think Russ Vought wants to shrink government in a dramatic way? Absolutely. He's pretty clear about that. And so can he do it, and will he do it? He's pretty much said yes last week. That's what he's going to do.
Is he going to do it with or without the shutdown of the government? I mean, is this something he would do anyway?
No.
That's what. So
I don't think he'll. Excuse me. I don't think he'd do it without the position that we're in right now. I'm not sure he'd have the full authority to do that. And so I think, yes, this is a threat in some ways, but it's a real threat because I think he has the authorities to move forward.